So, in today's session, we'll be discussing about variable. Okay. So, what is variable? Variable nothing but getting some memory to store some value or input or output, whatever it may be. Everything is a value only, right? So, to store that data, we'll be creating the variable. Like for suppose we want to go for a lunch. So, we'll be calling to the restaurant and we'll be asking for table booking. So, they will book the table. So that's called variable allocation or else variable creation. Okay. So which table they will create based on the visitors. If we are going to going with two people, they'll be creating the table which is enough for two people. If we are going 20 people, they'll be creating a table which is for enough for 20 people. Or else if we can book entire hotel, they'll be booking all the tables. Then according to our volume, we need to adjust. So in the same way, here also, if we want to pass some value or if we want to send some value to program, okay, we need to create a variable. Okay. So whenever we created a variable, it will block some memory inside our device to store that particular variable. Okay, sir. I asked the system to create a variable. It's created that variable. How can I identify where it is? Right. So we need some reference, right? Even though we book the table, immediately we'll be asking like the table number, which number table you reserved for me. So the table is recognized by that particular number. In the same way, whenever we block the memory, we'll be giving some name to that block or for that particular allocation. That's called variable name. For suppose here, if I declare like x equals to 10, so basically here, this is the space I blocked. Okay. In that space, I stored the value 10. Okay. So how I am identifying that block with the name of x. So like this, we'll be creating a variable. So in Automation Anywhere, how many types of variables are there? So A360 has two types of variables. One is system variable. Another one is user defined variables. So what is system variables? The value of variable was already defined by system, that is Automation Anywhere. So there will be some variables where the value of that particular variable is already decided by the system. For suppose like there is a variable called date. The value of the date will be already decided by the Automation Anywhere. So if you use the date variable, it will be taking automatically the system date. You need not to provide the value for that. Okay. In the same way, username, that's the system variable. So that will be automatically taken by the system username. You need not to provide the username explicitly. So such kind of variables can be called as system variables. We'll be discussing about them as well. The same way, user defined variables, which are defining defined by users or developers, or else you can say admins as well. Okay. So if as a programmers, if we mm, declared any variable, that can be called as user defined variable. The value of that particular variable also will be defined by the person whoever created the variable. Okay. In this user defined variable, we have two types of variables. So one is global variables and another one is local variables. So global variables will be declared at project level. That means the global variable will be declared at the control room level. Okay. So whatever the task you created newly, in the all the tasks, the value of that particular variable will be same thing. For suppose you are one developer and I am another developer. We have one common architect. So you are saving the logs in some X directory and I am saving Y directory. But our architect want to save the logs in Z directory. So what he'll do is, so to avoid such kind of ambiguities, he'll create a log path in the control room stating that global log path and he'll pass the instruction use the global log path variable whenever we are using log2 file command. So the global log path variable will be having the path which is defined by the architect. So if we want to store it in the Z, so it will be saving in Z. Tomorrow, if you want to change it to path A, so again he'll change the variable in the global variable. Then the all the logs will starting saving in the log, I mean path A. So in this way, so the guy, the admin or the architect can control entire project or can instruct to entire project. So such kind of variables will be defined as global variables. So local variables will be declared at task level or bot level by developer. So this is by admin or tech arc. So these variables
Sir,
will, sorry,
one doubt.
okay,
Here, what is the difference between this project level, bot level? Means,
I'll tell you. For suppose you are working for some project, assume that like you are working for Infosys. Okay. So you are like, and your client is assume that government of India. So you are working in a company called Infosys and your client is government of India. Infosys working for government of India. So government of India ordered 10 bots to Infosys. Okay. So now Infosys hired one project manager, one technical architect, and 10 developers to develop and deliver those 10 bots. Okay. If all the 10 developers or if all the 10 bots should maintain the same standards or same value for particular thing, at that time this global variable will be defined. Okay. Here, the task level or bot level means, see, bot is combination of tasks. Task is single task. Whatever we have created yesterday, that is the single task. But if you want to create the what, multiple tasks will be get involved in that, and those will be configured each other. So but this will be performed only one job, that is one bot. So this can be called as bot level. Is this clear?
Okay, sir. Yeah, clear.
Great. Wait. Yeah. So local variables, right? So here in this local variables, we have multiple subtypes. Like what kind of variable you want to create? Do you want to create the number variable or string variable or boolean variable, list variable, dictionary variable, record variable, table variable, file variable, session variable, window variable, and finally any variable. So these many subtypes of uh, let me share the screen again. Stop. Local variables are there. So if you want to store the number value at that time, you will be defining the number type variable. So number value, and or else if you want to store the string value, number value, for example, like the automation. Sorry, it's number, right? Like 5, 7, 28, 42. So these are all example for the numbers. If you want to store, or else you want to store some value with digits 543.23. So this is also valid number format. This also can be stored choosing that number type variable, the string variable to store strings like automation. This is the valid string variable. 360. This is also valid string variable. And 360. This is also valid string variable only. You might ask that, sir, how can we, how it can be string variable? Okay, this is number, right? Of course, even though it's a number, we can declare it as string. Then what's the problem or what's the limitation if we define any number as a string? You cannot able to perform any mathematical operation against to this one. For suppose here I declared x equal to 10. Okay, here also I declared x equal to 10. So here I want to perform some mathematical operation, that is y equal to x plus 1. Then the value will become 11. But here if I say y equals to x plus 1, it will lead to error, because here the x is not number, right? That's the reason. Or else it will be displayed like the output also will be like x plus 1 only. The mathematical function will not be performed there. Okay, that's the limitation. For suppose you are working for bank systems, So there one value is there called account number. Against to account number, generally we won't perform any mathematical operations. So at the time, simply we can consider that account number as string, no problem in it. But there is a value called total. Definitely we'll be performing mathematical operations against total. That value you should not be declared as a string. That must and should, it should be declared as number. So that's the limitation. Boolean to store true or false when you will be using. So when you will be using to compare two values. For suppose here I'll give the example. I wrote some condition. I have some requirement like I have want to compare two strings. So this is true, right? Automation is equals to automation. So then the output value will be come in the Boolean format like true or else. I wrote like this. This is the false statement. The output value will be coming as false. To store this true or false, the variable will be created as Boolean. Okay, then it will help to see up to here. These are all help us to store single values, not multiple values, but it will help us to store multiple values in single variable in column format. So in this list, how the values will be stored is, so we want to store some 10 values in a same variable, like I'll, how it will be. So I'll define a list variable, list of accounts. So here I'll be declaring the account numbers 001, 002, 003, 004. To store the data in this way against to single variable, then we'll be going with the list variable. Clear?
Sir, in list variable, we'll store numbers or any data
Any
points.
data. So you can store numbers or you can store strings, but not the dictionary record this here. Either number or string. Okay. Or boolean
Okay.
also we can store. Okay.
Okay.
Anything you can store. So it will store the dictionary. Now dictionary. So what is dictionary is to store data in key value, key and value combination. So here what I'll do is I'll create a states dictionary. So this is my dictionary variable name, states dictionary name. In this, how the information will be there means AP. So what is the capital of AP? So TS Telangana, or else currently it's a TG, whatever, it's Telangana only. Yeah, Karnataka, whatever it may be. So like this, see, this is completely states information. So how you are saying? So you want to save the capital cities. So how can you map them against to the state name? If you want to save the data in this format, you can store the data in this way. In the same way, pin codes also you can. But suppose pin codes are there. Add a pin code 5 lakhs. So next something, it will be something else. 002 like this. So if you want to store the combination of the data, the dictionary will help us. Is this clear?
Yes, sir. Clear.
Okay. Then record to store a row value from Excel. So you are operating through a Excel. Assume that. Let me try to open one Excel file so that it will be make more sense. Yeah. So this is my Excel file. So you want to store. See, you whenever you are processing the Excel data, you will be processing row by row, right? So you want to store entire row data. So first you want to process row one data, then row two data, like that. Okay. So to store entire value of this one, this record variable will help us. Table to store entire Excel data. So if we took the table variable, for suppose I want to dump all this data into a variable. At that time, table variable will help me. So whatever n number of columns it has, n number of rows it has, all uh, all the data will be dumped into the single variable with the help of table variable. Next, file variable. So file path. That might be the text file or Excel file or XML file, whatever it may be. So I am processing this information. So this is a file, right? So I need to provide this file path to my bot where this particular file exists in my local computer. Then only bot can able to open this file, and bot can able to perform the business operations on top of this file, right? So for this, I'll create a file type variable. In that file type variable, I'll be providing the path of this particular file. That is about file. Session. So session define. Generally, we will not use much this session variable. Sessions like Excel or SFTP or XML or email. So this one, I'll tell you whenever we are talking about these concepts at this moment, even though if I try to explain you, you'll not be able to understood much. Window to store window titles. For suppose you are performing the you have created some social media bot where your bot has to open the government of India Facebook account, Twitter account, Instagram account, and LinkedIn account. How to post the good morning post. That's the job of your bot. Assume that. So it will open and it will post it, right? How can it's differentiate that? Which one is Instagram window? Which one is Facebook window? Which one is Twitter window? And which one is LinkedIn window? Because the controls and the procedure to post the message will be different, right? To differentiate them at a time, assume that you opened all four windows at a time. Okay. How can you differentiate that based on the title? See here, for this window, this is the title of window variables. So here A360 is the title of window. Here AA questions is the title of window. Like this, to store this window titles, this window variable will help us. Okay. And variable can help to store any single data. So it's similar to the string type. string type, but cannot able to all string operation. So for suppose in the real time, what will be happening? So from the systems, you are fetching uh, some account number or some value. So and you are not sure that whether that is the boolean type or that will be the string type or that will be the number type, whatever it may be. At that time, we'll be assigning that value to any type. Generally, this also will not be using much. So whenever most of the variables will be supported by string itself. But in the automation anywhere tool, this is also provided. So this is about any type. I'll show you where this will be here. Let me go to login. See, let me open the yesterday's program itself. So 2025, the fifth folder, I'll be opening my first attribute. So if I go to variable section here, so here the plus symbol is there. Go to plus symbol. See here type of variables. Any type, string type, number type, date time also there. I missed it. It will help us to store the date values. Okay. Boolean type, file type, window type, credential type. I'll discussing about this later. Credentials are the secure data. List type, dictionary type, record type, table type, form also one type, session type. So these are the different types of variables which are available inside the automation anyway. So for suppose, let me define a string like a string one. Okay. So here, if I want to add the value, see, I can create the blank variable and I can assign the value to this variable later, or else directly I can define the variable as well. Automation. See. So if I define like this, I want to print it. How can I print it? I'll come to this message box, delete this one. See here, this X symbol is there, right? If I click on this X symbol, see, this variables drop down will come. So here it will display all available variables. So what is the variable I created just now? String one, right? I'm selecting string one and I'm clicking on insert. And if I run it now, it should print automation. See, automation. It's printed. Now let me define a number variable into here number. So I'll be defining like 100. Okay, save, and I'll be coming here. So see here, you can click on this X button or else you can give the F2 in your keyboard. This insert window will be open. See here, number one. I'm selecting number one. Insert. See immediately if you see invalid expression. So it will not support. It's not supporting. Even though if I save it and if I run, I'll be getting error. See what with errors. It's not running because it has error. The reason is this message box doesn't support number type data. It will always deals with string type data. Or else let's try with any type. Anyone. So I'm creating. So see here we are not able to assign the default variable value to this one. Okay, but let's see what is there. Let me remove this one. See, insert. So it's taking any type, it's taking. But what will come? Nothing will come because the variable doesn't have anything. Okay? Blank is coming. So basically, forget about any. So we'll not be using this anymore generally. So basically, the message box will support string type only always. It cannot able to support the number type. But there is a way to print the number value using message box, that is converting as a string. That thing I'll just demonstrate now, but you'll not be able to understood much in coming classes. You can clear about that. See, I'm converting. So here what I'm saying is, dear message box, okay, this is number only. I agree that, and you won't accept the numbers. I respect you, but for time being, I'm requesting you to assume this number value as string value for some time. So please request, I'm requesting you, please accept my request and help me to print it. Then message box is accepting my request and it will print it. How I have to accept? If I say orally, it won't listen, right? So for that, I need to pass a command, the conversion command like this. So then it will understood, okay, this guy is created mistakenly. Okay, let's accept his request for the time being and let's give the value. It's assume like that and it will provide the value as 100. And see how to pass that request is, so I'll give the number one. So it will say no man, I won't accept. Then I have to request him. How can I request? I'll put the cursor after the last dollar and I'll move just before to the last dollar. Then I'll give dot here. So once I give the dot here, this hover will come like this. Here I'm saying that number two string. So I'm requesting this. Assume this for time being as a string. So I requested the message box. It's accepted it. That's the reason it's the red mark is gone. All errors are gone. And if I run, the value has been printed here. So this is about the overview of variables. So from tomorrow onwards, we'll be discussing about variables one after another. So see, for every variable, we have separate set of commands here. If I go to number, the number, I have list of commands here. See, assign, decrement, increment, random to string. It will help us to convert the number value to string value. In the same way, if I request for string, it has a list of commands here. See, assign, extract, compare. These are all different sub commands or else sub operations which can be able to perform against to a string variable. Okay, like this. Every variable have a set of commands. The dictionary it has list. It has so like this. So we'll be discussing about one after another. So once we are done with all type of variables, then we'll be moving to the further things like Excel automation, email automation, web application automation, desktop application automation, all these things we'll be discussing. So whatever if you want to automate, first we need to clear about variables. Without knowing about the variables, we're not able to perform any automation. So first we'll complete the variables, then we'll be moving on to the further automations.